Hello and welcome back. Now we're going to talk about communication relays and some of the information that you can get from it. So let's go to the comms relay tab. As you can see, there's a number of information. It will accommodate up to 500 satellites from any of the various constellations. Let's go to TDRS. And what you need to do to ensure that this works is pull in the correct constellation to start. So hit switch constellation. That goes then to the satellites tab and imports the correct constellation in. Now there's a number of different options here. Bent pipe, mHop, and crosslink, as well as satellite relay to ground or ground to satellite to ground relay. As long as the go box is highlighted as green, it means there's a valid communications relay. If you pull down stop and move it to run, it works similarly to the satellites tab and you're able to run that forward in time. It really works for low Earth orbit satellites or satellite relay to ground where you can really see it. Some of the other information that you have, latitude and longitude for each of those ground sites, and you can pull down any one of these ground sites. Origin and destination have specifically to do with information from the multiple ground sites tab, those 75 cities, so you can delve into which of those cities you want to look at. Ground stations specifically have to do with some of the radar sites around the world, U.S. radar tracking systems. And then the satellites have to come from the appropriate constellation. Over here on the right you see a mask angle. It will look for a communications relay for anything currently above 10 degrees above the horizon, and the automatic access checkbox will either generate automatically the access so that you can see it, or if it's unchecked you can scroll over the appropriate satellite and then see the access. Operational only is as it implies and generates just operational satellites. For now, let's uncheck that because it will provide us a little bit more information to look at and more options to choose from the satellites. So currently we do have a bent pipe from Colorado Springs, Colorado to Honolulu, Hawaii. What it does is it goes back to the satellites tab and creates the relay for that satellite, and then if there's another satellite it creates that second satellite and it draws an access between the two of them. And let's click comms relay. Now it's going to generate those communications relays. If there are two satellites, it will generate both of them. If not, it will just generate one. Alright, and now that it's complete, we can go back to the comms relay tab. We'll go to Google Earth and right click and revert, and there you go. There's a bent pipe relay from Colorado Springs, Colorado to TDRS 12 and to Honolulu, Hawaii. Alright, let's see what the mHop looks like. I will select that and you can see it's still TDRS 12, but now we have TDRS 10 in the mix from Colorado Springs to another tracking station in Hawaii, and then finally to AFSCN in Guam. Let's hit comms relay. And it will generate both of those satellites. So we'll be back as soon as it does. Alright, and now that that's complete, let's go back to Google Earth. You can right click and revert the same one we just did. And there you can see the comms relay, which is the mHop to those various positions. Cool. Alright. Let's go back to comms relay. Let's finally do a crosslink. And let's select satellite relay to ground and see if there is an effective satellite relay. And in this case there is. So let's hit comms relay and it will generate Alright, and now that that's complete, we'll go back to Google Earth and right click and revert. And there you can see this crosslink that we have. We're going from ISS to TDRS 3 to TDRS 10, and then finally back to a ground site in Guam. Just a few of the options that we have available to us. So for now, that concludes our instruction on communications relays and the orbital dynamics calculations workbook. Please tune back for the next episode.